Testing 1 2 3, testing 1 2 3 4. What a day, huh? The big issue is, will the ceasefire hold? I guess that's the question everybody has, and that's the skepticism that you're seeing because so much disinformation out there. It's really hard to, I guess, get a firm, what I would call, feeling about it. And, I think the odds say it won't hold, sort of doubtful. Crude oil is trading at 97, which is at the high end of the range it had the second half of the day. And, I guess we ought to keep our eyes on crude oil. That's number one. And the VIX is holding about 22.20, which is at the low end, even though it did get down to, I think, 21 today, VIX futures. So, you just gotta, I guess you gotta take it one day at a time and take what they give us. Today was sort of an interesting day. The market rallied, last night in Asia, hit its high, and then spent most of the morning, just sort of going sideways. I thought the first hour would be important. I told people, I said, don't do anything, watch it, but it never changed most of the day. It was pretty well sideways. There's a couple numbers I want you to write down just to help you tonight and tomorrow. The first number is on the S&P. During the cash day today, the lowest we got was 67.75. 67.75. Write that number down. If you don't take that low out, and then you get back above tonight's opening, which is 68.14, that might be a bullish thing. For the NASDAQ, that number is 249.13 for the NASDAQ. Those are two numbers that, actually 249.13, I told you 19, but those two numbers are sort of what I'm using to determine whether or not there'll be follow through tomorrow or whether or not we'll start retracing. We can retrace quite a bit because of the great rally that we had today, which was sort of interesting, is that it was there. I kept looking for the last hour today for buying to step in, but in fact, it just went sideways the last hour. We opened tonight and we haven't done anything but go sideways to down a little bit. So I think it's a watch market. And that's the way I'm looking at it tonight. How'd everybody read today's market? I mean, obviously it made you feel good if you had some positions that looked good. Yeah, last night the futures market was real good to us, Dave. I agree. Last night it sure was. Anyway, welcome to the Wednesday night on the web. We've been doing this for years, and I think that we're still going to balance a couple things. Number one, not lose money, number one. And number two, try to figure out ways to make money in the current environment. But April, you do have a buy signal. If you just stand back and look at the month with what happened today in the market, you do have a buy signal, and that portends better things ahead. Now, there's risk involved in trading. I always like to tell people past performance is not indicative of future results. And I think you have to come into any trade or investment and say to yourself, what are you willing to risk? That's the big question you have to answer. And David, you're right. My pivot numbers, I think, I can't trade without it. I'll post another one tomorrow morning like I did today. The one this morning was perfect. Kept us out of trouble. Now, for folks who don't know who I am, my name's Tom Busby, a former Air Force officer. I've been an active trader for many years. I tend to give a lot of insights that I've learned through lessons in the market. When I see the market, they come to the surface, and I'll share them with you when I said I'm a former member of Chicago Mercantile Exchange, largest exchange in the world, and I have 3 votes: winning the day trading game, the markets never sleep, and trade to win. My favorite part of this job is getting to know you and work with you, because just like you, when I started, I was always trying to figure out how to get an edge at this game of trading. Still doing it today. At DTI, we help you master the markets through education, training, and experience. In my opinion, opportunity is here. You have to be unbiased with that opportunity. We can't say, hey, we got to buy, so just buy everything. No, we have to be very deliberate with how we handle things. If you look at the market right now, it's unbelievable. If you stand back and say big picture, the Dow or E-mini is down 1% for the year. NASDAQ's down 1%. That's unbelievable what this market's gone through to be at those levels. Gold's up 9%. Crude has come off, is up 68%. And bonds are flat. Even though the 10-year bond today, yields fell on that, and that's a good thing. My 10 tickers for the week. Monday morning, I said if the QQQ goes above 592, it's a buy. It's at 604 tonight. That's a pretty good call, wouldn't you say? The SPY above 662 tonight, it's at 674. Gold above 445. Below that, actually we're pressing the low end of that at 427. AGQ above 122. AMD, here's another good call, 220. Apple is above my pivot number, 257. And Google was a good call. So, do y'all know how to play these numbers I give you every week? I mean, this is a gold mine if you know how to play it. You don't have to buy the actual stocks. You know how to use options with this. Okay. You have to understand delta. And I have a tape, I think it's on YouTube, talking about delta, but you can buy a delta 10, delta 20, delta 30, delta 40, delta 50. The way delta works, if you buy 2 options at delta 50, it's like buying 100 shares. That's the way you got to think about it, okay? So using delta and an alert system on your trading platform, it pays you to write my 10 tickers. How many people actually use the 10 tickers to make money for your account? I do it every week. How many people use this tactic to make money? Every week. I'm getting a lot of yes votes. These are good numbers, and they're published at my weekly planning session. This week, it was Monday morning. Pretty good number. Now, when major events hit the market, most traders react. Being prepared is what you have to do. Preparation works and why it matters. Now, how many people here like my approach once we went into the market turmoil stage? In other words, market was going to be in turmoil. It's called pocket puts. How many people like that tactic I came up with to help people protect themselves overnight? I had one simple rule. If the VIX is above 20, don't go home without one. That's a rule. The VIX is 22, so you should have pocket puts in your account. Now, in a way, it's a tiny fraction of your account. It's really insurance against unexpected drawdown. So this strategy is a great strategy when it sets up. Tonight, I'm talking about an advanced way to use it. I'm going to teach you how to use this throughout the year in a class. Like the one we've been living in right now, dropped 10%. Help you avoid all those big losses that happen to you. My exact words for you the day before the war started on that Friday was, folks, we're buying pocket puts. Here's how you do it. Since that time, we put on 10 different positions to take advantage of the overnight risk, and they have paid off. That's over 40% of the days it helped to have those pocket puts in your account. It's not over. The VIX is still at 22. Tiny bit of your total value in your account can help grow it if you circle the wagons on the rest of it. Sleep easy knowing you got it in your pocket and over the weekend. If the ceasefire fails, what do you think is going to happen to the market if the ceasefire fails? What do you think is going to happen? When do you think it's going to happen? During the day or during the night, our time? It's going to happen what I call when the Grim Reaper roams the earth, at night for us here in America. The actual time, okay? The actual time it happened, the kickoff for us at 10:20 in the morning. 10:20 in the morning. I mean, in the evening, 10:20. That's when dawn happened in Iran. You want to write that time down, 10:20 Eastern time. Most traders are not insuring themselves. Let me ask the question. Who has pocket puts going into tomorrow? Let me just ask that question. Who has pocket puts in their account going into tomorrow? Who doesn't have pocket puts going into tomorrow? There's one don't. There's another one. Okay. The pocket put scenario is in YouTube. Go search it. You'll find it. Watch it tonight. Okay. Don't go home without a pocket put in your account. That's my opinion. If that VIX is over 20. Raging bull markets, downturns are coming. In fact, corrections about 5% are usually happen 2 or 3 times a year. So you're going to get paid if you keep the strategy up. 10% corrections like one just happened, happen average at least once a year. Now these flash crashes always happen when greed is at its highest, or when we have event-driven fear. We got that, don't we? Which means there'll never be more important time than right now if you learn how to insure your account for what we call pocket puts. Now, the strategy has been studied and recommended by top researchers from Lehman Brothers, elite universities, and even the Federal Reserve. But you know where pocket puts got a life? When somebody's been trading for 40 years, says, this is what I do in these type of events. February the 26th. A method for taking a tiny fraction of your account. Insure yourself against 5 to 10% downturn. So how does it work? Basically no different from buying insurance. You keep it in your account. Think about it like this. If you're willing to bet, I'm willing to bet everyone in this room has insurance on their car. Who has car? Who has insurance? Their house. Type yes. If you're lucky you got one of these things insured, and then you say to yourself, why don't I have pocket put? Because no one's brought it to your attention. I'm doing it tonight. I've been doing it for 30 plus days, if you've been listening to me. In fact, give me a yes and check if you have any form of insurance in your life. Give me a yes. Now, here's the thing. Nobody enjoys buying insurance. I don't enjoy buying it, but we all do it. We all insure against those inevitable things that happen in life. You pay a very small amount of money to have it. Sometimes in recent years, a lot more than we used to pay, but you still have it. Don't drop it. Car gets destroyed, you better have insurance. Be about 30 or 40,000 at the cost of cars these days. Now let me ask you a simple question. If you're willing to buy insurance on the rest of your life, things that you have, why would you want to hedge yourself with probably the most liquid asset you got, your brokerage account? Especially, even in bull markets, you have these type corrections. That is why it's important to learn the art of pocket put. Put another way, if you're guaranteed to even get in a minor car crash at least one time per year, you'd pay for the best insurance available, right? Same thing here. In that case, solution is incredibly straightforward. The pocket put anyone can place in their account with a few clicks of the mouse. The time to do it and all that, I teach. But what I'm coming up for this class is taking the pocket puts foundation level to an advanced level over 2 sessions. The first will be the setup. I go through this Friday. Good time to have that. And the second will be at the next webinar we have to show you the actual entries and all that stuff. And if you answered yes, you're in luck. The special class on pocket puts by demand. People said, Tom, can we do more with pocket puts? I guess so. We've made 10 in a row pay us money during this time period. They want to know how to maximize it. So I said, we'll do it. That's why we're doing this class. I'll tell you how to insure your accounts when you consider placing them. The indicators I use to tell me you better have pocket puts before you go home. How to set up trades in accounts, answer all the questions, learn about strategy. We could charge $1,000. If we'd charged you $1,000 for the previous 10, you'd have paid for it by a factor of about 5. That's how lucrative these things are. But we're not going to do that. We're set up 1:30 this Friday to have our first class on this. Get in there, learn what we do. We record everything so you can watch it Friday, watch it over the weekend. But the bottom line is if that VIX is above 20, you better have a pocket put when you go home at night. The next 5 to 10% crash will be coming sooner than you think. I think it's easy to see if we have a break in this ceasefire, it's happening. So the one payment of $199 gives you both classes. Here's what you do. Go to this link, dtitrader.com/pocketputs, or if you got any questions, call 904-706-3532. Friday, our first session at 1:30, I'm going to show you how to have a continual strategy of pocket puts in the setup phase. I haven't taught it before. We'll teach that this Friday. How you like that one? Masterclass number 1 is this Friday at 1:30. Folks, there it is. Just like I warned you prior to this war, you circle the wagons. We already go into a pocket put stage, and we did. The warning tonight is learn by taking this class. I sure hope you take me up on this. Any questions, typing in there? Not tonight, Carol. Not tonight. Anybody got any questions? I laid it out there for you. 2 classes, one this Friday, and I'll designate the date by the most probable day that we can put it on to show you how to execute these at a very effective rate. Okay? There's a little technique I'm going to show you in a real market. Can't do any more than that. Watch this tape from Friday over the weekend. There'll be things in there that you haven't thought of before that I will teach you on Friday. I've got people been trading 25 years. They've never heard the concept. That shows you how much of an edge this gives you by learning. Folks, that's what I got. Adam's going to replay it for people that showed up late. Pay attention. Tomorrow is Thursday. We'll go back to 11 o'clock for our train and trade. I'll see you over there. Stay tuned. A lot more to this story with the